Brawl Stars is a bright, multi-billion-dollar mobile game played by millions of people all across the globe today. With a 9+ age rating on the App Store, the developers explicitly market the experience to elementary and middle school children. But baked directly into the lore of this cheerful universe is a strangely sinister backstory created by Supercell themselves. Fans know it as the Starr Park conspiracy. According to this hidden narrative, the characters in the game are actually visitors to a real-life theme park. Through psychological manipulation and chemical mutation, these visitors were brainwashed by park management and trapped in an endless loop of combat. The game even featured a 24/7 in-universe radio station called WKBRL. To keep the trapped characters docile, a voice on the broadcast would calmly repeat a single phrase over the static. This is normal. Supercell intentionally embedded a horror story about psychological manipulation and forced behavioral loops directly into a children's game. Starr Park exists as a riddle for gamers to solve, a piece of interactive fiction hidden in the background for fans to decode. However, a class-action lawsuit, My versus Supercell, argues that these fictional themes of brainwashing and entrapment reflect Supercell's actual business model. The lawsuit alleges that Supercell utilizes predatory, casino-style practices to lob children and adults into highly addictive behaviors, creating cycles of spending that are difficult to break. The legal complaint details how the game's actual monetization strategy mimics the cycles of manipulation depicted in the Starr Park lore. The trap begins with a psychological tactic known as disconnection. To reduce the friction of spending, the game places a virtual currency between the player and their credit card. This pricing menu shows how Supercell structures these transactions. Players purchase gems in bulk, using conversion rates that mask the real-world financial cost. By the time a player is spending gems in the shop, the psychological link to their bank account has been severed. Once a player is accustomed to spending virtual gems, the game employs a second tactic: demand through inconvenience. Players win reward boxes through gameplay, but the software intentionally stops them from opening those rewards immediately. Players receive limited slots. Once full, progress halts. You must wait hours for a box to unlock, unless you spend gems to open now. Feeding gems into the interface bypasses the timer, meaning you pay money to alleviate a frustration developers hard-coded to drive consumption. Supercell engineered a digital environment that weaponizes a child's impatience, creating an artificial bottleneck that can only be cleared with a credit card. This in-game storefront illustrates what happens when those gems are spent on randomized rewards, known as loot boxes, packaged here as a big box or mega box. Opening one of these boxes triggers variable rate reinforcement. This is the psychological principle where delivering a reward on an unpredictable, random schedule creates the fastest and most obsessive behavioral loops. This mechanic is structurally identical to a slot machine. A player wagers value, a random number determines the outcome, and the reward is dispensed. Behind the animations are abysmal odds, a 0.11% probability of receiving valuable characters, requiring hundreds of boxes and over $100. Adolescents are uniquely vulnerable to this specific loop. Their frontal lobes are still developing, resulting in lower impulse control and a significantly higher risk of rapid addiction formation compared to adults. Supercell's design creates a calibrated behavioral system that bypasses rational thought, directly targeting the developmental vulnerabilities of the adolescent brain. The global community is finally recognizing the real-world effects of this digital experiment. Following investigations into the addiction potential of loot boxes, the governments of Belgium and the Netherlands formally classified them as illegal games of chance, officially banning the mechanic. In the UK, the House of Lords issued a report demanding that loot boxes be immediately brought under national gambling legislation, matching similar regulatory pushes in Australia and the United States. Global regulators have reached a consensus. The gamification of mobile games acts as a direct gateway, normalizing casino mechanics for children and leading to lifelong problem gambling. The scale of international intervention and ongoing litigation identifies loot boxes as a recognized global public health threat. In the world of Starr Park, the WKBRL radio station endlessly repeated, "This is normal," to keep its victims from questioning the reality of their situation. The real-world gaming industry operates on a similar frequency. They use smiling mascots, fun graphics, and ESRB rating loopholes to suggest that slot machines in a game for 9-year-olds are a standard part of modern entertainment. But as lawsuits move forward and international bans take effect, consumers no longer have to blindly listen to the industry's broadcast. The psychological trap of the freemium economy only works in the dark. By exposing the casino mechanics hidden behind the colorful cartoons, the illusion finally breaks.